time for our annual men's basketball season preview. Here with head coach Jeremy Bialek and Houghton senior Preston Thomas. Talk a little bit about last year, coming off a win percentage that went up the year before, making the Empire 8 tournament. Coach, how do you build on that, and what's it look like heading into this season?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot that we can build on from that tournament appearance and just the run we had. I think in the conference season, I think we competed really well against all the conference teams, and some games better than others. We had some bad streaks, some good streaks. I think the building point with our returning guys and the new guys we brought in is how do we become more consistent and how do we become deeper so that we can kind of sustain runs and end opponent runs sooner, kind of build on the building blocks that we've put in place over the last couple of years. I'm really excited about what we've seen in the preseason toward that end, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks in the non-con.
Preston, 1 year under your belt, ready to go for year number 2. What are some of your goals for the team this year, and maybe you personally looking ahead?
Honestly, what I'm thinking is just like helping other guys out, being helpful. I think last year was kind of different because I was just kind of thrown into a role where I had to kind of be the guy and do some things. But this year, we have so many talented guys around us that I'm able just to be helpful towards the other guys and just play a role that I just play my role really.
And you brought in a lot of pieces that are going to fit in and complement the guys that are returning. What has the acclimatation point been like for those new guys, getting used to the style, getting used to the relationships?
Yeah, I think our returners like Preston and Trey and Juan and David and Luke, all these guys that were here last year, even the bench guys, they really made the transition easier for the new guys and teaching them what we do and showing them the ropes, the expectations, and also just being there, being beside them. The camaraderie and the unity we've had already this year, I think, is really encouraging to me. And so I think they've gotten acclimated a lot quicker, and I think we're in a position where our defense and our offense can be better because of how much they trust each other.
Talk a little bit about the conference. It could be up for grabs this year. A lot of the top players on some of the other teams have moved on. Obviously, there's always talent in there. And you got 3 new schools with some talented guys. What's the conference look like this year?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are going to kind of take a wait-and-see approach because Brockport's so good, Geneseo very solid. We played them in a non-con game last year. It was a good game at their place. And then Poly's got talent and brought in some new guys as well. Utica's always strong. Naz and Fisher are going to be up there. And I just don't think there's a super weak, there's not a weak team in the conference. Even Hardwick last year who didn't win a conference game, they were in so many games against the top tier teams and took us to the wire at their place. So I think it's going to be really deep. I think you're going to see on any given weekend some teams win games that maybe you didn't think they could win. You're going to have to bring your A game, whether it's at home or on the road. And I think being who you are, really being in your identity as a team and executing that identity over and over and over again is going to determine maybe who starts to get to the top by the end of February.
What did you enjoy most about those conference games, matching up with a Naz and a Utica and a Fisher? And what's that bring to you as a competitor?
Just the competitiveness. They always ran all their stuff well, and I think there's a lot of things that we could have learned from those teams. I think it was our first year just playing with each other. New guys were coming in, and it was really our first year that we knew that we could win and be something special. But just seeing all those other teams run their stuff and just do the good things and do the small things, we could really take a lot away from them and do the same exact things and just apply it to what we're working on this year.
And what's got you excited? You said a scrimmage the other day, an exhibition. Got a couple weeks of practice. What are you excited that you think you can make that next step up that E8 ladder?
Yeah, I just am really excited about the weapons we have and the depth we have, because the depth from top to bottom, and I really mean it, top to bottom, it's made our practices so much more competitive. And when you have competitive practices, that's going to lead to developing quicker. Guys just have to be sharp every single day or they're going to get beat in practices and in scrimmages and drills and such. And so I've really been excited about that and our unity. if we're deep and we're unified, I feel like we can better reach our potential. What is that potential? It's hard to even say right now, but we've got some talent here and some maturity, some older guys that have been doing this a little bit. For once, we're the team with seniors and grad students, and that's exciting. I think it'll lead to some better consistency in games, more maturity when you're being hit with a run by an opponent or on the road at a tough place like Naz or Utica. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we respond and seeing how our depth helps us, especially as we get later in the season.
Great. Open up Friday against Bethany right here at home. So I encourage the fans to come out to Nielsen Center and support Houghton men's basketball and support them all year long as they look to make a mark in the E8. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.